We want you.
So anyhow, welcome to Great Lakes Lavender, and I hope you've enjoyed the day, or I don't know how long you've been here, but browse around, have a look, whatever you want to see. We've got a number of different varieties here. We've got about 16 varieties of lavender that are on site right now. Some are only test trials, and we might have half a dozen plants that wants to see how it's going to do, because a big problem with here is the winter, survival. And so what I'm going to do, let me give you a little bit of background to when I started it, and when I passed it on to Matt and Kate, and then what they do with it, some of the varieties they've got, how they use it, what people that have been buying from him, because he does sell just about all over North America. And we'll take you right through the harvest and into the distillation process on how he gets the oil. So what we've got here, back in 2004, I started with 5 rows, right from the cedars out this way. Matt and Kate and I, we spent a day planting, because I had bought 500 plants that were all just in little pots like those that are here. Because I wanted to start with decent plants, right? So we spent a day planting them all, and just watching them grow for a year or two. And the second year I decided, those took off so well, I decided to put in another 10 or 15 rows, I forget how many. And some were the same varieties and some were different again, because I wanted to try something different because of the information I had found on growth conditions and weather and how all of that affects the way they grow. So what you see here, the first row over there is the same as these. And this appears to be the most popular variety that people are asking for when they order from Matt, whether it be the oil or the buds. This is called Grosso. It's a hybrid. This is one, you may have heard of the term Provence. This is a lavender called Provence. It's another hybrid variety, very common in the southern part of France, in the province of Provence. The only problem we've had with this one is it doesn't grow well here. The second row over here used to be all of this, plus when I grew the second year I had quite a few hundred, actually over 1,000 of these, because they started out so well. Unfortunately in 2006 about 1,000 of them died on me. Okay, so that kind of gave me a clue, alright, I don't think I want to deal with this variety anymore. So what we were doing is what you see is about all we have left, and they're not growing too bad other than a little bit of grass that's growing between them. We don't spray any herbicides or anything on there, it's just a matter of weed pulling, so to speak. So it does get a little bit ahead of us. Him. I'm not out here much anymore, but I used to be. Well, you'll see also in the areas where there's small plants. Over here and over here the plants are smaller. It's because that's how many died over the years. And so we're always replacing with younger plants and then moving when part of a row would die here and over here, then Matt would move those plants into this row to kind of fill in this row and then redo that whole section. So that's what you'll notice throughout. So these two varieties give us about 10 times more oil than the English. We've got some English varieties here and then the hybrids. Lavender itself are categorized into Spanish lavender, French lavender, English lavender, hybrids, and there's even a couple other little categories that have escaped me. But we have just the hybrids and some English varieties that we're trying out, but the English appear to be the most hardy. Spanish and the French will grow further south, but they won't survive our winters anyhow. He does have one type of a Spanish variety here that people have been asking for over the years, so he decided to order a few plants for people to buy, but it's one that has to be taken in the winter. So it doesn't do that well over the winter. It'll die on you. Okay, so what people like with this one as well, anybody who does crafts, is the length of the stalk. Because when they do crafts, and I've seen people that have made wreaths out of the lavender and all kinds of other things, and it's the length of the stalk. There are varieties that will have a longer stalk on it as well, but they don't grow here. We went to the North American Lavender Festival a number of years back, and I stood beside some plants and my wife took pictures. And what you see here was up here on me. Beautiful plants. Over 1,000 stalks on one plant. But the plants were just huge. But it was a variety that they can grow in their climate. We can't grow it here. And what we're also noticing is even people in Harrow, people in Simcoe that are growing lavender, they struggle with different problems in their soil type and in their climate because the climates vary all across the province. And it's surprising, even the soil type. So what you see here, normally lavender is supposed to be grown on a kind of a rocky, sandy type of soil on a south-facing slope, is what they told me. So what you see here is a little bit of a sandy, north-facing slope into heavy clay ground. But what I also see is that most of what we're growing here will grow just as well in the clay as up here on the sandier ground. So that's been something too we've noticed over the years. Is some varieties do well on any type of soil, some will grow better on sand, some on clay. So what you see as well when you look down the rows, you can tell the difference. If you're looking at buying a plant, you can see if you stand up here at the end later on and look down, you can compare the sandy growth to the clay growth. So if you're interested, based on the type of soil you're